Hello, everybody. Welcome to this webinar brought to you by Bursa Malaysia and managed by our company LifeChamp. Our webinar title today is Invest Smartly with i-ETFs to diversify your local equities portfolio. So my name is Shen Chu. I'm the moderator for this webinar. And today, we're going to talk about how do we invest smartly with Sharia compliant exchange traded funds. So i-ETF actually stands for Sharia compliant exchange traded funds to diversify our local equities portfolio. So before we begin, here's the disclaimer. Whatever we share in this webinar is only for educational purpose. In no way that we give any recommendation for you to buy or sell any listed securities that we mentioned here. If you decide to make any investment decision, you are solely responsible for all your investment risk. Now, allow me to briefly introduce our speaker today. He is the co-founder of BBB Wealth. He is also a certified financial planner and also a stockbroker at a Malaysian securities firm. He is also a financial columnist for the Nanyang Business Daily and also a financial news contributor on 8TV. With 10 years of experience in finance and investment, he specializes in macroeconomic analysis, investment product selection, and portfolio construction and management. So he manages assets totaling up to 13 million ringgit, having handled over 400 investment and financial planning cases, providing personalized investment solutions to clients. So he's none other than Mr. Hubert Hyong. Hubert, good evening. How are you today?
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Shane, for having me.
All right. So we can't wait to learn from you about how do we leverage on Sharia compliant ETF to diversify our equities portfolio. Over to you.
So, all right. So let me share my slide first. Okay. So everyone can see my slide.
Now, this is a presenter view.
Oh, presenter view. Let me stop sharing. Okay. Okay.
Yes, perfect.
All right. So everyone can see my screen clearly. All right. So let's start first. So my topic today is to talking about how to invest smartly with the i-ETF, so-called the Islamic ETF, and how can we use this to diversify our local equities portfolio. Okay. So throughout this today's webinar, you will understand the concept of the Sharia compliance ETF and also learn the strategies to create a passive investment portfolio using these tools, which is i-ETF, and also the discover to some of the key consideration before diving into the investment world of the i-ETF, and also debunk some of the common myth and misconceptions about the investing in the i-ETF in Malaysia. Okay. So I will break down into three sections. The first section is the basis for i-ETF. Okay, so when we are talking about the Islamic finance, okay, so-called the rises of the Islamic finance, maybe 15 or 20 years ago, if we mention about Islamic finance, people might think it's just a small market or a local market, maybe only applicable to some of the specific banks accounts like Islamic accounts, or they will say, oh, there's a niche market, or it's just too small. But now, if we look at the data or the fact, Islamic finance is no longer a small market, okay? It has expanded into a giant or somehow a multi-trillion dollar global industry. So there's a huge amount of money. It's a big market. So it has gone mainstream in places like London, Middle East country, Dubai, and of course right here in KL in Malaysia. So why it is so sudden to become so popular? Okay, for the Islamic finance market. So it's very simple. It's about trust and ethics. So right now we can see people globally or investor worldwide, not just Muslim, are actively seeking investment that are ethical, transparent, and also so-called socially responsible. So let's think about this way. Who wants their money quietly going to fund some of the gambling casinos or the tobacco factories, or maybe companies that are super massive with debt? So nobody, right? So we all want our money to invest into something that is clean or grow cleanly. So Islamic finance provide that clean filter. So by filtering out all these industry like alcohol, gambling, conventional bankings, because for conventional banking, of course, because of the riba or the interest issue, and also weapons, it naturally attracts a huge number of ethical investors who care about society and good governance. So this filter actually makes the investment more reliable. And the demand for Sharia compliance or also the halal certified products, everything from banking services to our i-ETF is absolutely increasing. So it's driven by growing global awareness of ethical wealth creation. Okay, so people don't just want profit; they also want blessing in their money. And this growth is not slowing down. Okay, you can see from the chart here. You can look at the forecast. So Islamic finance is expected to grow with a 11.6% CAGR, so-called compound annual growth rate. Okay, you heard that right? Say 11.6%. So for those who don't know this, CAGR of 11.6% is seriously impressive. When an entire financial sector is forecasted to grow that fast year after year, it tells you two things. So the first thing is that relevance. So the product structure is meeting a huge global need. And the second one is safety. So the underlying assets are generally increasing because they are required to have less debt. So by choosing this i-ETF, you are doing more than just choosing a stock product. So you are tapping into one of the most exciting, the fastest growing, and also the most ethical financial movement in the world today. So we are making a choice of growth, safety, and also a blessing. Okay, so it's definitely a win-win situation. So now, come to the most important comparison for our investment. What is the difference between unit trust and i-ETF? Okay, so I know more of us here, including me when I started, right? We all bought unit trust. Okay, and our auntie or our friend's friend is an agent. So when they come to our house, we pay them a coffee and then we sign the form. Okay, it's very common in Malaysia, but you need to open your eyes and see the difference. Because the difference in your bank account after 10 years is going to be huge when if you invest through unit trust or this ETF. So let's break down into three parts. So part one is about the cost. Okay, so this is the biggest one. When we buy a unit trust, usually there's a surcharge. Okay, it can be 3%, sometimes even 5%. So imagine this: you take 100 ringgit, okay, from your pocket to invest. And when the moment you sign the paper, okay, or sign the unit trust buying form, the agent already take you 5 ringgit, okay, with the 5% surcharge. So only 95 ringgit actually goes into the market to work for you. So you haven't even started making profit. You're already losing 5%. So it's actually very heartbreaking, right? So you need the market to go up 5% just to break even. But right now, if you look at the i-ETF, because you buy it on Bursa Malaysia yourself, there's no agent, there's no middleman in between. So no sale charge. Okay, there's only one brokerage fee, okay, as low as 0.1%. So you only need to pay this brokerage fee to the system, and they're usually very small, maybe 0.1% or a minimum of 8 ringgit, similar to like how we do the stock trading. Okay, so if you invest 100 ringgit, almost 99.9 ringgit, okay, goes into the market, and your money starts working immediately. Over 10 or 20 years, that 5% saving compounds into thousands of ringgit. And part two, okay, about the trading. Okay, unit trust is slow. Okay, it's like sending a letter by post laju versus sending a WhatsApp. Okay, in unit trust, they use forward pricing. So you fill out the form at 10 a.m., but you don't know the price. Okay, you have to wait until the market closes at 5 p.m. Then only the fund manager will calculate the NAV and then tell you, okay, you bought at this price. If the market crashes, okay, at 12 p.m., you cannot run away. Okay, you are stuck until the end of the day. So, but for i-ETF, okay, the prices are real time. Okay, it trade exactly like a stock. Okay, you open your app at, let's say, 10 a.m. Okay, you see the price is at maybe 1 ringgit. Okay, you click buy, then you got it at 1 ringgit. If bad news comes out at 2 p.m., okay, you still can sell at, sorry, it's 2:30 because 2 p.m. is the rest time, okay, for the Bursa Malaysia, so for the Bursa market. Let's say if the bad news, any bad news comes out at 2 p.m., okay, you still can sell it at 2 p.m. 2:30 p.m. Sorry. So you have a total control of this. Okay, you are the bosses of your investment. And part three, about the management. Okay, management is like unit trust and ETF is just like a man and machine. So unit trust, actually we call it as active investment. This means you are paying a human manager, okay, to try and be clever. Okay, they try to pick the winning stocks to beat the market. But here is the sad truth. Okay, we can see some statistics shows that over 10 or 15 years, most of the active manager cannot beat the market index, which is benchmark. Okay, so we all know that human will make mistakes, so that get emotional. Oh, so maybe some of the time when they get emotional, they will guess wrong. Okay, but you still have to pay their expensive annual management fee, usually 1.5% per annum. Okay, but for ETF is so-called as a passive investment. So passive means that you don't try to be clever. Okay, we just follow the index. Okay, if the index says, oh, buy the top 50 biggest company, let's say S&P 500 or Nasdaq, and then the computer will just follow this instruction to just buy the top 50 companies. It's simple like that. Okay, because we don't need a fancy manager to time the market or to guess or what is the lower price right now. And guess what? Because the fees are low and the strategy is consistent, all these ETF or the passive funds often beat the active manager in the long run. So the simple conclusion is that i-ETF are cheaper, faster, and more efficient, okay, than unit trust. So why we need to pay more for less performance? It doesn't make sense, right? Okay. So now we move to the foundation of the Sharia or i-ETF. Okay, this part is super important, especially for all of my Muslim friends who want to make sure their rezeki is clean, and for my non-Muslim friends, listen closely to us because this is actually a quality control check that makes the investment safer. So the question is, how do we confirm this ETF is truly Sharia compliant? It's not just simply putting a sticker on the box. It's not that easy, okay? So to be certified as a Sharia compliant i-ETF, the fund must pass through three strict layers of compliance. Okay, so think of it like a very high-tech water filter. We want the water to be pure. Okay, so layer one is this business activity. So it's actually what do they do? Okay, so this is the first gate. So it's the easiest one to understand. We look at the company core business. Is it doing something sinful or harmful? Gambling or alcohol or pork-related products or conventional banking? If all this is related to all these sinful activities, then confirm it cannot be included in this Sharia compliance layer. Okay. So because of them, and also for the conventional banking, because they make money from interest, and also riba is a big no for the Sharia compliant investment. Okay, so if you buy an i-ETF, you don't have to worry. Okay, you don't need to be worried. Oh, did I accidentally invest in the casino? No, because the system is already blocked it at the front door. Okay, and for layer two, financial ratios. Financial ratio is like how do they manage money? Okay, so this is where it gets a bit technical, but I will try to explain very in a layman term. So this financial ratio is so called is a there's a we so-called as AAOIFI standard. So this is the global gold standard for Islamic finance. So even if a company sells something halal, let's say a technology company or a glove manufacturer, it can still fail the test because why? Because we look at their debt, if the debt ratio is the 33%, okay, the rule is 33%. So a company cannot have the debt that is more than 33% of its value. It cannot have huge piles of cash sitting in the interest-bearing account, so-called that, which is more than 33%. Okay, why it is rule here is it's actually because it filters out company that are drawing in debt. When the economy is bad, interest rate may go up. Okay, so who suffers? So the companies with huge loan will suffer. So they might go bankrupt. But how about the shariah companies? Okay. So for those companies that have a low debt level under 33%. So when the crisis hit, they are more likely to be steady and more stable. Also, they are safer investment. So it's not just about the religion, it's about the financial health. And for layer three is about the ETF structure. So ETF structure is like we need to ask, is the basket clean? Okay. So we need to look at the fund manager. So how they run the ETF. Okay. So the way they run the ETF also must be clean. Okay. How to say must be clean? The first one is that you cannot do any short selling, okay, because they cannot bid against the market, okay. And second one is that there must be no derivative, okay. There must be no complex gambling style contract because derivative trading is like a gambling, okay. And the third one is how do they manage their cash, okay. It's on the cash management. So any spare cash the funds holds must be upheld in the Islamic bank account, not a conventional one that earning the interest. So you see, it passed. If the company pass layer one, layer two, and layer three, so you know that this i-ETF is a very solid one. So it's ethically clean, financially healthy, and structurally sound. Sounds good. So this is a real peace of mind. Okay, so let's zoom in on the first layer. So this is a screening one, the business activity. So maybe we can think of this like a visitor at the club. Maybe before the company can even enter the Sharia list, the visitor must get check their ID. If they are doing nonsense business, then the visitor will say, "Oh, sorry, boss, you cannot come in." So what gets blocked? Okay, is actually very logical. We call this the non-permissible or haram sectors. Okay, first alcohol. So the big alcohol company like Carlsberg or Heineken, they make a lot of money, right? But in Islamic finance, profit from selling alcohol is considered harmful to society. So from this point of perspective, confirm reject. So must be out. And second one, gambling and gaming. So companies like Genting or Magnum, they might be huge on Bursa Malaysia, okay, in the market, but because their core business is betting, okay, it is related to gambling, so they are strictly excluded. So because like if you invest in i-ETF, we also don't want our health bill on others people's loss, right? And for the third one is pork related product. Okay, this one is very straightforward, like anything to do with non-halal food supply chain is out. And the fourth one is and this one is the one people always ask about, like conventional banking. So if you look at Maybank, Public Bank, CIMB, they are the biggest giant in Malaysia, but you will never see them in an i-ETF. Why? Are they bad or are they haram? No, they run the economy, but their business model is based on riba, okay, which is interest. So they lend money at maybe 4 to 5% and then pay you 2%. So their spread is actually the interest-based profit. So in Sharia point of angle, making money from money, okay, without an underlying asset is actually not allowed. Okay, so sadly, the big conventional banks are filtered out. Okay, so alamak, you say, if you take out banks and casino, then what is left? Okay, don't worry, there's also plenty left. Okay, so the permissible list is huge. Like, for example, technology. Okay, technology like chip makers, software, and also for healthcare like hospital, glove makers like Top Glove, Hata Leica, and then also for the consumer goods like Nestle, Touch Lady, things we buy every day. Okay, and utilities, Tenaga, and for telco also the Celcom, DG, and MSA. So you can see, even after we filter out the sin stocks, right, and the banks, we still have the very good, the best one, and the most productive sector of the economy. So you are not missing out. You are just investing in the clean part of the market. Okay, so next up is the screening tool, financial ratios. So this part is a bit complicated usually, but I'm going to make it very simple for you lah. So imagine this, maybe you have like, for example, like you have a friend, Aming. Aming opens a nasi lemak store. Selling a nasi lemak is halal, right? So no problem with the business activity. So he passed screening one, but to open that store, Aming went to the bank and borrow 1 million ringgit with high interest. So every month he need to pay for the interest. So is Aming business safe? Of course, no lah. If you sell fewer nasi lemak 1 month, so memang he cannot pay the bank. So he must go bankrupt easily. So this is exactly what screening tool checks. So it checks the health of the wallet. So we follow the global standard called AAOIFI. Okay, so and the magic number you need to remember is 33%. Okay, so the rule number one is that the debt rule. Okay, so the company's total debt, which is the interest-bearing loans, must be less than 33% of its total value. Okay, so basically for every one ringgit the company is worth, it shouldn't owe more than 33 cents to the bank. So if a company borrows too much money, so we will get kicked out from the Sharia list. And for number two, for rule number two, the cash rule. Okay, the cash rule is that the company cannot hold too much cash in a conventional fixed deposit account to earn the interest. So the cash must also be less than 33% of its value. So we want a company that uses their money to do the business. So not just sit on the bank to earn the interest from the cash. Okay. So why it is good for you? Because like when the economies get tough, okay, or when a bank negara raise the OPR, which is the interest rate, who suffer the most? The company with huge amount of debt will suffer the most, right? And they're always the one who kena first. So, but how about the Sharia compliance company? Because of this 33% rule, they naturally have low debt. Okay, they are financially fit. Okay, they are financially healthy. So they are like the elite with low body fat. When the crisis comes, they are more steady and they can survive better. Okay, so we have all these strict rules already, right? So no gambling, that must be low, and the cash must be low, okay, to fulfill the requirement. But here's the question: who check all these things? Okay, is this you or me? Okay, or do you have to wake up every morning, open your annual report of these 100 or 200 different company and calculate their debt ratio with a calculator? No, right. Okay, this is too troublesome. So you have your own life and you have your own job. So this is where a Sharia advisor comes in. So every single i-ETF listed on the Bursa Malaysia must appoint a Sharia advisor or a Sharia committee. So you can think of them like a video assistant referee in a football match, or maybe the strict group discipline at school. So their job is simple but critical. Okay, they watch the portfolio, okay, like a hawk, Okay, they don't just chop the Sharia compliance stamp once at the beginning and then go minimum then direct. No, they are constantly auditing the company. Okay, so they are watching the company. And when the reclassification, okay, scenario comes in, okay, so imagine this scenario inside your ETF, there's a construction company, okay, company A. So today, company A is good, okay, Sharia compliant, very healthy. But next month, the boss of the company A gets greedy. Okay, he goes to a conventional bank and borrows 1 billion ringgit with interest, and suddenly his debt ratio jumps to 40%. So what will it be? He breached the rules to breach the 33% rule. So you as a normal investor, you wouldn't know this happen instantly, right? But the Sharia advisor will see it. Okay, they will blow the whistle. Okay, they tell the fund manager, hey, this company A already feel he cannot meet the 33% rule, he cannot meet the requirement already. So it's now classified as non-Sharia compliance. So you must sell it all. Okay, so the fund manager has no choice. So even if they love the stock, even if the stock price is going up, okay, they have a very good prospect. But because of this 33% rule, okay, you have to fulfill the requirement of the i-ETF. So you must sell it within a specific time frame to keep the basket to be clean. Okay, so they will take the money, okay, and then buy a new one, the new compliance stock to replace it. So the benefit to you and to me, to all of you as an investor, this is the beauty of it. So it is a called autopilot compliance. So you don't need to be worried if your investment suddenly becomes like non-Sharia compliance. Okay, because this Sharia advisor, so-called the referee, is watching the game for you. Okay, they also do the math for the purification, which we will talk about next lah. So they will calculate exactly how much needs to be donated. So you sleep soundly knowing there is a professional team guarding the purity of your investment every day. So it's actually very worth the small fee, right? Okay, so just now we talk about the purification concept. So what is this actually? Okay, so sometimes we call it as cleansing. Okay, cleansing 之气. Okay, so we live in a modern world, right? So it's very hard to be 100% perfect. So imagine you have a Sharia compliance company. Okay, maybe a big glove manufacturer or the factory. So your business is 100% Sharia compliant, but maybe you have 10 million ringgit in cash sitting in the bank account overnight, and the bank pays you a little bit of interest, or maybe you rent out a small shop lot to a tenant who sells secrets. A tiny drop of your income, okay, maybe 0.5% or even just 1% might come from these tender sources. So in Sharia, that tiny drop is not yours. Okay, you cannot keep it. So it is considered a dirty money for you as an investor. So what do you need to? Okay, you have to purify it. So how to do? Okay, how does it work? So the Sharia advisor will calculate the exact percentage. Let's say they determine that, 2% of this fund's income is actually so-called dirty. Okay, so if you receive 1,000 ringgit in dividends from the fund, okay, we will take that 1,000 ringgit, okay, we multiply by 2%, that equals 20 ringgit. And the 20 ringgit cannot go into your pocket. Okay, you cannot buy nasi lemak with it. So you must take that 20 ringgit and donate it to charity, maybe like Baiduma or the poor. Okay, you only keep the 980 ringgit, and that 980 ringgit is now pure, clean, and blessed. Okay, so who does this for you? Okay, we will do this for you. So this is a good news. For many i-ETF, the fund manager will do this automatically. Okay, before they even transfer the dividend into your account, they've already skimmed off the dirty part and donated it to the charity. Okay, on behalf of all investors. So whatever money lands in your bank account is already clean and clear. Okay. However, some funds might pass the full amount to you and tell you in the annual report, hey, dear investor, please donate 1% yourself. So just make sure you check the annual report once a year. Okay, to make sure that this money is clean. Okay, is pure, is purified. But usually they will make it very easy for you lah. Okay, so let's do a math together. So I want to make sure everyone here, whether you are accountant or artist, understand how exactly these number games works. So let's look at the box on the screen. Okay, so let's say you invested local i-ETF. Okay, business is good. The fund manager announced a dividend. Okay, sharp, right? So step one, we need to look at the announcement. So you need to check your bank account or the annual report. Okay, you will see, oh, 1,000 ringgit has been credited. So you think, oh, this 1,000 pocket money, okay, we can buy some new stuff like new stickers or go out for a good night out. Okay, but you need to think that, but you need to think, this 1,000 ringgit, is it pure? Okay. So we need to look at the report. Okay, so being a smart investor, we need to open the ETF annual report or the dividend announcement. Okay, you look for the section called purification. Okay, the shariah advisor has written there, for this financial year, 2% of the fund's income is non-permissible. Okay, so what this non-permissible means is that the 2%, okay, you cannot take it. Okay. So let's take out your calculator. So 1,000 ringgit dividend multiple 2%. So it's equal to 20 ringgit. Okay. So this 20 ringgit is the so-called dirty money. Okay. So ideally you should take that 20 ringgit and donate it to a charity. Okay. So maybe you can give it to Dabong Haji or the mosque or any NGO to feed the poor. So how about the remaining 980 ringgit? Okay, so that is yours, fully halal, so fully clean. So you can spend the money, okay, on your anything you like, okay, with zero guilty. Okay, but please be reminded that is that most of the time, especially with the big i-ETF in Malaysia, the fund manager is very nice. Okay, they know we as an investor, okay, are very lazy. Okay, so they will do the calculation internally. Okay, they will deduct the 2% before they pay you. Okay, so if they declare a dividend, the money you receive in your bank is usually net of purification. It's already clean, but it's always good to check the report just in case they say, oh, investor are advised to purify their own dividend. If you see that sentence, then you know then you know how to calculate lah. Okay. Okay, so let's move into part two. Okay, part two, we will talk about the global and the local landscape about the i-ETF. Okay, so just now we have done with the so many hard rules. Now we go back to a little bit fun part lah. Okay, so your investment. So we as a Malaysian investor, why should we choose i-ETF? Okay, why not just stick to fixed deposit or buy stocks one by one? So here are the three big reasons why i-ETF are a game changer. Okay, so reason one, cost effective. Okay, we can save a lot of money lah. Because like fees are the silent killer of our investment or our wealth. So if you buy a normal fund, you may pay 3% or 5% still charge upfront. So if you put in 10,000, 5 ringgit is gone. okay, before your investment started to make money for you. Okay, sakit hati, right? So with i-ETF, the fees are actually very, very small. Okay, the annual management fee is usually very low, maybe like 0.4% or 0.6%, and there is no sale charge. Okay, so just a small broker fee. Okay, so this means more of your money stay in your account to grow. Also, over 20 years, saving that 3% fee can mean a very big difference between buying an IV or a Honda Civic. Okay, so reason two, diversification. So we always say that don't put all your eggs in one basket. Okay, we all know these rules, right? But doing this is very hard. Okay, if you want to diversify on your own, you have to buy many stock. Like you need to buy, like you need to have Tenaga or Maybank and Top Glove or CIMB in your basket. Okay, so you need, and also you need a lot of capital to buy all these stocks. Okay, and also a lot of brokerage fee will be incurred. Okay, but with i-ETF, you only buy one unit, then you will instantly own 20, 30, or 15 companies. Okay, it's like you order a Logic, you buy a Logic, then you will get cucumber, you will get apple, okay, and egg, and also fritters, everything in one plate. So you don't have to cook them one by one. So it's instantly safety. And for reason three, transparency. Okay, there's no secret in i-ETF. Okay, so have you ever bought a fund and wonder, what is this manager actually buying with my money? So sometimes we might feel that oh, it's like a secret box. Like so, but with i-ETF, there are no secrets. You can go to the website and download the list. Okay, you can see exactly what you own. Okay, okay, down to the decimal point. Okay, you also can see, oh, I own 4% Tenaga, 3.111% Petronas, or 0.111% Inari. Okay, so you are total control of it because you have full information. Okay, and also fully access into this i-ETF. So it's cheaper, safer, and also honest, transparent. Okay. So, all right, so we have talked about the local market. Okay, now right now I want you to start thinking global. Let's look at the global market. Okay, so don't just look at Malaysia. Okay, so because if you only invest in Malaysian's company, your money growth is tied only to the Malaysian economy. Okay, but if you invest in global, okay, invest globally, and you are actually tapping into the biggest fastest growing company in the entire world. Okay, and the best part is we can do this ethically and easily using global i-ETF. Okay, how do we assess the giant like Apple and Google ethically? So look at these examples. So these are real i-ETF you can buy. The first one is SPAS, okay, SPUS, okay. It's actually the SP funds, S&P 500 shariah, okay. So this is fantastic. It tracks the famous S&P 500 in the US, but it uses the shariah filter we talk about, okay. What it uses that it removed all the conventional banks and gambling companies in S&P 500. And what is left is that technology, healthcare, and strong industrial company. Okay, so this means that you are riding the growth of the company like Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla. Okay, all this you knowing that your money is clean. So this is a high growth engine. Okay. The second one is HLAL, okay? The Wahid FTSE USA Sharia. So this ETF will give you a broader exposure to the entire US market, not just the S&P 500. Okay, okay. For investor, it will be a very good choice if you want to include more sectors like clean energy or specialized healthcare companies that might be missed by the standard tech heavy funds like S&P 500. Okay, but why do we need to invest in tech? Okay, why tech domination? Why technology is so important to our portfolio? Okay, because you notice that I keep mentioning tech, right? Because it's very simple. Big tech companies like Apple or Amazon or Google are perfect for shariah screening because they usually have low physical debt. Okay, because like how you know the way they finance, right? The capital they finance are they are financed through stocks, not loans. Okay, and they have clean business model. Okay, because they don't sell alcohol or run casinos, so it's naturally fit into Sharia compliance. Okay, so we have just talked about the fast car, like the high speed tech stocks like Apple and Tesla. So, but what happens when the loot get bumpy? Okay, you need the shock absorbers, right? So you need the seatbelts. So that is where the third products comes in, okay, which is the global sukus. Okay, so now you might say, hey, Malaysia is the king of suku, right? Okay, suku is bond actually. So, but why go global? Yes, Malaysia is a champion in the global bond market, but diversification means looking outside also. Okay, there's a massive suku market, okay, in the Middle East region like Saudi Arab, UAE, Qatar, and Indonesia. So by buying a global Sukuk i-ETF like the HSBC Global Sukuk listed in London or accessible via all the global platforms, so you are buying a basket of Islamic bonds from governments and huge companies all around the world. So what is the difference between equities and Sukuk? Okay, so for global Sukuks, for global equities like this SPAS, so we are actually owning a piece of the company, okay? And you want the price to go up, but the price is volatile, okay? High risk, high return, okay? But for global sukuk, you are actually lending money, but of course lah, ethically, okay? You are lending money ethically to governments or companies, okay? So they will pay you a steady profit rate, okay? Not interest, we so-called as coupon, okay? So yep, it's boring, it's low, but it's steady. So when the stock market crashes, okay, or goes down, like during a pandemic or a economic recession, stock can drop 20% or 30%. But at this point of time, Sukuk usually stay much more stable. So adding global Sukuk into your portfolio is like adding a balance to a ship. Okay, it keep you steady in the storm while still paying you a regular income. So don't just go for growth, okay? Balance it out with some of the solid global sukuk, okay? And why we need to invest globally, okay? Two main reasons. The first one is that currency hedging. So when you buy a US i-ETF, you are buying it in US dollar, okay? If the Malaysian ringgit weakens against USD, your investment will be automatically increased in value when convert back to into ringgit. So it actually can be a safety net for your local currency. And the second reason is that to maximize your growth. Okay, so you are assessing the company that drive the global innovation. Okay, like Nvidia today, okay, they're doing the chips, okay, they supply the chips to all the AI companies, okay, so they are actually driving the global innovation. So you cannot get the level of skill or growth just by staying local. So if you want to buying into all these AI company, if you look at the local stocks or local company, any sector, any stock you can look for? No. So the only way is that you can only access through global market. Okay, so we want our portfolio to be truly diversified, then we must have a slice of this global i-ETF as well. Okay, so let's zoom in into this US tech giant. So every time I show people the list of the company inside Shariah ETF like SPAS. Okay, so they were shocked, okay, because they see Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, Meta. So, and they will ask, hey, you sure this is halal? Okay, or you sure this is shariah compliance? Okay, this is technology. Like, and the answer is definitely is yes. And here is why. Okay, it's actually a funny coincidence of the financial world. You see, the old school companies are like General Motors or big construction firms or airline company. Okay, they love that very much. Okay, they will borrow a huge money of that to build factories or buy airplanes. Okay, so they always feel the 33% debt rule. Okay, which we talked about earlier. But how about big tech? Okay, how about for all these big tech company? Okay, so actually they are different. Apple and Microsoft are cash printing machine. Okay, they don't need to borrow from banks. Okay, they have mountains of cash sitting in their own account, billion and billion of dollars, US dollar. So because they have low level of debt and high level of cash, they pass the Sharia financial screening, okay, with flying colors. So it's actually effortless for them. So from consumer to owner now, think about your own life. So what phone is in your pocket right now? iPhone? Yeah. What do you use to search for answer? Google, right? And what do you use to chat? WhatsApp, right? So WhatsApp is actually owned by Meta. Meta is the parent company of Facebook. Okay. And what company do you use for work? Microsoft, right? Okay. So we are using all their products every single day. So we are giving them our money constantly. So why just be a consumer? Okay. So why just be the person paying? So through this i-ETF, you can become a owner also. Okay. When you buy S-Pass, every time someone buys a new iPhone 16, then you will make a small profit from it. So every time a company pays for Microsoft Cloud, then you also profit. Okay, so all this is the growing engine to drive the innovation of this entire world. These companies are the engine of the modern world right now. So they are driving AI, cloud computing, electric vehicles, EVs. So by investing in this deep dive of US tech, you are putting your money in the fastest lane of the global highway. And remember, you earn in US dollar. So you get the double bonus. Okay. So the tech growth and the strong US dollar, this is why we call this the growth engine of your portfolio. Okay. So next, we are going all the way to America to see the Apple and Tesla. Now time to balik kampung a bit lah. Let's come back home to Malaysia. Okay, so I will introduce you the local champion i-ETF, which is the my ETF DJIM25. Okay, so the stock code is 0821EA. So if the US tech giants are the Ferraris, okay, fast and exciting, right? Then this fund is like a Myvi, okay? It might not go from 0 to 100 in 3 seconds, but it is reliable, okay? It's everything, and it gets the job done easily. So what is inside the basket, okay? So you can see the name already said it all. Okay, Titans 25. So this fund tracked the 25 biggest and strongest Sharia compliance company on Bursa Malaysia. So the big bosses of our economy. So for example, like the Tenaga Nasional. Okay, so when every time we switch on the light, they make money, right? So and also the Petronas chemicals. So our national pride in oil and gas downstream is actually owned by this Petronas chemicals. It's also the one of the biggest company in Busan, Malaysia. And also the Celcom DG message, everyone needs data, mobile data. So it's the essential things of our life. And also the IHH healthcare, which is the world-class hospital, and also press metal. The press metal is the huge aluminium player in Asia or also the South Asia. So why we need to keep my eyes on this ETF? Okay. Two reasons: stability and dividends. Okay, so all these companies are actually very mature. Okay, they are not the startup company. Okay, so they have a very strong in cash flow. They are the cash cow. Okay, they usually generate the steady profits every year. Okay, year after year, and they also pay out a very nice dividend. So this is where you can go to makan dividend. So historically, Malaysian blue chips are paying better dividend yields as compared to US tech stock. Okay, so who it is for? Okay, if you are the type of investor who gets who will easily get a heart attack when the market drop 2%, 5%, or 10%, then this will be very suitable for you. Then you need this. Okay, because it can help balance your portfolio, give you exposure to the Malaysian ringgit economy. So don't ignore our local market as well. It's perfect for the steady part of our own portfolio. Plus, it also feels good to own a piece of the company that built our nation as well. Okay. So now we come to something very special, which we often talking about, okay, recently, which is gold. Sometimes something that our grandmother or Nanette, okay, have been telling us to buy since we were young or small, okay, gold, right? So we all know gold is valuable, okay? It is a real money when the world goes crazy. Gold is the safe haven. Okay, but let's be honest. Buying physical gold is a bit troublesome. Okay, if you buy a gold bar, okay, when market anything happen or anything happen, okay, you won't take your gold bar to run away, right? Okay, so but for the gold investment, okay, what makes people or investor usually buy is that safety. Okay, you have to, you don't need to worry when if you're buying into this gold ETF, you don't need to be worried about people will stealing your gold. Okay, so you don't need to hide the gold bar under your pillow or buy a safe. Okay, and the second one is the spread. Okay, because if you buy a jewelry, okay, you will need to pay for the workmanship. Okay, when you sell it back to the shop, okay, they will cut the price by 15% or 20%. Then you will straight away lose this 15 to 20%. Then this is so-called spread. Okay, so how to do it is that you can buy this gold ETF. Okay, so on Bursa Malaysia, there's a gold ETF called Trade Plus Shariah Gold. Okay, the code is 0828. So this is a Malaysia first Sharia compliant gold ETF. So when you buy one unit of this ETF on your trading platform, you are actually buying into a real or the physical gold. Okay, it's not a paper gold or some kind of number. Okay, the fund manager actually takes your money, buy into these physical gold bars and lock them in a high security vault. Okay, because it's backed by the physical asset 100%, so it passed the Sharia rules as well. So okay, so why this is better than the physical gold shop? Okay, the first one, price. We are buying at the raw gold market price, not the workmanship fees. Okay, for example, like if you go to gold shop, the raw gold price right now is, let's say, 2,000. Okay, but if you go to gold shop, they will sell you at 2,002. Okay, maybe like 2003, because why? They want untung ma, right? They will still need to make a profit from selling all these gold bar or this gold product for you. Okay, and for the second one is that why this gold ETF is better than gold shop is that the convenience. Okay, you don't need to save the gold bar at home. Okay, you can just hold it digitally in your own trading account. And the third one is liquidity. Okay, you can sell it anytime immediately or instantly on your trading apps, okay, on Bursa Malaysia if you need cash, okay. So try running to the gold shop at 2 p.m. and on a Tuesday to lock the price is very stressful. So, but with this gold ETF, then you are peace of mind. Okay, you still can buy the gold, okay, virtually, but by holding them physically, okay, in real. Okay, so but why do you need this gold ETF in your portfolio? Okay, we can think of this way. Gold can be our insurance policy. Okay, usually when the stock market crash, like during a war or a pandemic, stock market go down. But how about gold? Okay, like what we see right now, gold usually will shoot up. Okay, it can balance our portfolio. Okay, to reduce our portfolio risk, so it can protect us. It can protect our purchasing power against the inflation. So for those of you who love gold but hate the hassle of keeping it, so this i-ETF will be the smart way to do it. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the strategy. Okay, so before we look at the core and stabilize chart in the next slide, so we need to settle a big debate in the investing world. Okay, this is a strategy one, active and passive investing. Okay, so you need to decide what kind of investor you want to be. Okay, the active investor, okay, or the passive investor. So the active investor is the person that tries to beat the market. Okay, they are constantly reading news, checking the chart, okay, drawing the chart, or buying in wake up in the early morning to buy the stock, or sleep in the very late night, okay, to trade the market, okay, to actually trying to time the market and beat the market. Okay, so all of them are trying to pick the winning horse. So the pros is that, yeah, if you get it right, you can make the big money. But the cons is that if it's a very headache. Okay, you need time, you need skill, and you need luck. And usually the fees are high because you trade a lot, right? So most of the time, active investor actually lose money, okay, because they get emotional, okay. They will usually buy high and sell low. So when especially when they are panicked. But for passive investor, in passive investor, their style is like very relaxed one. Okay, they are the relaxed bosses. Okay, so this is what i-ETF are built for. Okay, passive investing means I don't know which horse will win. So I will just buy the whole stable thing. Okay, you can you will accept the market average. Okay, if the market goes up 10%, then yours investment will also goes up 10%. Okay, but the pros is that the fees, it can be super cheap. Okay, and it is stress free. You don't need to monitor the screen every day. You can focus on your own job and your family and your also your life as well. And the con is that you won't become a millionaire overnight. Okay, that when the market is low, then your investment is low. Okay, when the market is making 10% return, your investment will make 10% return as well. Okay, but when the market is losing 10%, then your investment will lose 10% as well. But the benefit is that you don't need to waste your time to keep track of your investment or your performance. You can just buy into this i-ETF and to become a passive investor, okay, to also ride through the market growth. Okay, so actually we can do a reality check. Okay, so this is the truth. Even professional fund managers, people with like a professional cert from maybe Harvard or very famous asset management company, they are also will be struggle to beat the market constantly, because for those fund manager, their KPI is actually to beat the market. Let's say if I invest in ETF, okay, I invest in market itself. The market itself already can make me trend 15 to 20% return. For example, like this year S&P 500 year to date is already 20%. Okay, so without doing anything, okay, without reading any chart, okay, my investment from year to date until now already make me 20%. But if the another person they invest their money with certain funds, okay, so their fund manager responsibility is to beat the market. They must beat my benchmark, okay, to overperform or to outperform, okay. If not, even if they make profit, okay, but less than 30%, maybe like 15 or 18%, is still considered underperform, okay. It's worse than my performance, okay. So this is their responsibility and KPI for the fund manager, okay. So let's imagine, so if the fund manager cannot do this, then why should we stress ourselves trying to do this as well? Okay, so the smart choice actually is like for 90% of us as a normal Malaysian, passive investing is always the winner. Okay, we can use i-ETF or i-ETF to capture the market's growth cheaper and simple. Okay, we don't need to try to be the hero. Okay, we just want to be wealthy, right? So we can choose a very senang strategy, okay, and let the economy or let the market to work for us. So this is the philosophy we are using tonight. Okay. So next, so now you know the so you know that passive is a safer the safer strategy, but maybe you still have that itch, right? Because you still want a little bit of excitement, okay? Like when you heard your friend talking about some AI stocks or Bitcoin, and then you feel FOMO, okay? But don't worry, you can have both actually, okay? We can use this core and satellite strategy, okay? So let's imagine like a national dish like nasi lemak. So the core 80% is rice, okay? 80% of your portfolio, okay? Imagine the nasi lemak. The most important part is the rice, right? So without the rice, you will go hungry, right? So the core is actually the foundation. In your portfolio, this 80% is your core. This is where you put the boring, safe, and all your money into this i-ETF. So it can be global ETF, local ETF, or even the gold ETF. Now this part is a passive one. You buy it, you hold it, and you can sleep very well. Okay, it can make sure that no matter how the market happens, your retirement funds and the big portion of the money, okay, will stay safe. Okay, it will still keep you in a very safe place. Then how about the itchy part? Okay, so you can think of you can use this so-called satellite strategy. Okay, you can think like the samba of this nasi lemak. Okay, so 20% of your portfolio, okay, can be this satellite. Okay, so now everybody eat nasi lemak, nobody eat the plain rice, right? Okay, it's very boring. Okay, but still there somebody that can eat plain rice. Okay, there's some people that need samba and don't need samba, and if you need samba, then you can put 20% of your funds into this into the stock that you would like to buy or you would like to trade. Okay, this is so-called satellite. Okay, so this is where you can be active. You can use the money to buy the specific stock you love, maybe Tesla or a local penny stock or a high risk thematic ETF like a specific AI team or the robotics funds or even cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Okay, so why this strategy works is that it can manage your risk perfectly. Okay, if your satellite, okay, pick the wrong one, okay, sorry, if your satellite pick the wrong one, okay, your pick is wrong, okay, then your whole portfolio will not be affected much. Why? Because 80% of your funds still stay in this the core, okay. So for example, like if the 20% of the fund lose 10%, but because of it's only consists of 20%, okay? So 10% of it is only 2% of effect of your whole portfolio. Okay, so for most of us, this is the best balance. Okay, so we need to be boring with the big money, and then because of this boring strategy, we then we can only can make sure that our money is stay safe, okay, no struggle, okay, and also meanwhile we also can play around with the small money on this so-called satellite portfolio, okay. So please be reminded that don't mix them up, or else it will ruin your financial plan or your investment journey, okay. So strategy number three, this is the answer to the questions I always get asked every single day. Okay, people always message me and ask me, hey, market very high now. Should I wait? When is the market going to crash, or can I wait for the bottom? So my answer is always the same. Okay, stop guessing, stop timing, because we all are not a fortune teller. Okay, even the expert or the professional fund manager, they also don't know what will be happen tomorrow. So instead of trying to time the market, we can use a strategy called dollars cost averaging, DCA. So this is the free way to get rich. Okay, so how does it work? Okay, it means you commit to investing a fixed amount of your money. For example, let's say 500, okay, or 1,000 at a fixed time. Okay, let's say every month. Okay, when you receive your salary, then you invest this fixed amount of money into a certain investment. For example, you can put it into ETF. So you can do this no matter what, whether the news say that, oh, it's crisis, okay, so it's a new time high right now. You don't need to bother there so much. You just press the buy button, then you buy every month. Okay. So, but why this is so important? Okay, we can do the very simple math. Like for example, for the first month, okay. So when the first month the market is very hot, maybe the ETF price is 10 ringgit. So your 500 ringgit can only buy 50 units. Okay, okay lah. A bit expensive. Then second month, the market crash, the price dropped to 5 ringgit. So when you as an investor, normally people when they see the price drop to 5 ringgit, right, they will feel very panic first. They don't dare to buy. But with the DCA, you don't need to bother so much. Okay, you just buy into it. Okay, so everyone is crying, is worrying about their investment. But how about you? Okay, you know that, oh, this ETF, this market will grow long term. Okay, so you just follow your strategy as usual. Okay, you buy as usual. You can use your 500 ringgit to buy, and right now you can buy more units. Okay, for last month, the first month, you only can buy 15 units with the price of 10 ringgit, but right now the price dropped to 5 ringgit. You can use your 500 ringgit to buy 100 units. So you're actually averaging down your cost. Okay, you can buy more units with the cheaper price. So what's the result? Okay, the result, you can combine the first month and the second month. The cost, your average cost is actually lower than the high price. Okay, so you are actually buy fewer units when expensive and more units when it's cheap. So you can turn this market volatility into your friend. Okay, so it's actually the philosophy. So this strategy can save you from headache or panic, or FOMO. So if the market goes up, okay, very great. Your portfolio value will go up as well. But how about when market goes down? It's very great for you. Okay, good for you, because you can get to buy a cheaper next month. So see, you can win both ways. Okay, so please don't wait for the perfect time. Everyone, many people like to wait for the bottom. Okay, but bear in mind that you won't buy at any cheapest price, okay? As included me, okay? We only can buy the low, okay? And we don't need to wait for the perfect time. We don't want to time the market. What matters is that we need to stay invested with the market. So the perfect time always is yesterday. And the second best time is today. So just start your DCA and do the math work for you. Okay, so this is a sample portfolio allocation. Okay, you can see there's a three pie of this. So actually um uh cheat sheet okay where that everyone will ask me for lah. So people always ask me I know what to buy, but how much of each? Okay, how much that I need to allocate to buy all of this. So here's a very simple portfolio allocation. Okay, we call it all-weather portfolio. Okay, because it designed to survive every weather. Okay, so we can see the engine part is the 50% of the global growth. Okay, the dark green one. Okay, you can see the biggest light, right? So half of the pie. Okay, it can goes to your global i-ETF like as past. Okay, why? Because you want your money to grow. Okay, you want the US tech company to grow your investment, and you want the USD exposure. So this engine can pull your investment forward. Okay, very much. And then for the 30%, the local income, okay, the medium green one, okay, for this one. Okay, maybe we can keep 30% right here in Malaysia with the my ETF. Okay, why? Because like we are living here, okay, we still spend ringgit. So we also want the steady dividends to pay for our tax or our bills. So this part, it doesn't move fast, but then it's steady, okay? So it can stabilize the boot, okay? It can balance out our risk. And then for 20%, it can serve as a airbag, okay? The last 20%, it can goes to the gold ETF or the sukuk, okay? Why? Because this is your insurance. So if the US market crash, or if the Malaysian market slow down, okay, this pie usually will hold the value, okay, or the prices of this gold or sukuk will goes up, okay. If you stop your, it won't let your portfolio to bleed too much, okay. It still can let you sleep at night, okay. So another thing is that we also can customize it according to our age. Okay, because you need to know that one size doesn't fit all. Okay, so this is just a sample. So we must adjust this to your every different life stage. For example, like if you are young, uh, young man, okay, you have time, you can take more risk. Okay, maybe you can bump the global growth into 70% and reduce the defensive to 10%. So you are in the accumulation mode. But if you are a retired person, you cannot afford to lose much money. So you need cash flow. So maybe you can flip it. Okay, you put 50% in defensive or sukuk and only 20% in global. So you are in a correction mode. Okay, so but for most of us in the middle, right? Okay, this 50, 30, 20, the mix is actually very solid already. Okay, very pretty sexy already at the starting point because it's very balanced, diversified, and shariah compliant. Okay, so next we can talk about the pricing. So strategy is done. We talk about the execution. So how to actually buy without getting scammed by the market price. So this part is a bit technical, but you must understand this. If you don't, you might accidentally lose money. Okay, when at the moment you click buy. Okay, so there are two prices you see. The i-ETF is a special one. Okay, it has two price. Okay, the first one is the NAV. okay, net asset value. Okay, so this is the true value. Imagine a hamper. Okay, inside the hamper there are chocolates, cookies, and maybe sparkling juice. If you calculate the price of every item inside, the total is 100 ringgit. So this is the NAV, okay, the ingredient cost. And the second one is market price. So market price is the selling price on Bursa Malaysia. So this is determined by supply and demand. Okay, it's what people are buying and selling. So maybe like I want to buy at 20, then maybe the other person want to buy at 22. So let's see which price will be matched. Then the price will be the market price. So let's say like scenario A, usually the NAV and the market price are very close one. Okay, the same. Okay, but sometimes everyone gets excited, maybe goes up. Then everyone rush into buying the gold ETF. Then the hamburger is worth 100 ringgit. But because there's a long queue, the seller puts a price tag at maybe 110. If you buy at 110, you are paying a premium. Okay, so you are overpaying 10 ringgit for nothing. The chocolate inside didn't change. Okay, it's still the same chocolate. So don't do that if the premium is too high. So you like first wait for the price to go down first. And then another scenario B is the discount, the sale. Sometimes the opposite happens. Okay, for example, like panic selling. People, when they're looking at the market is dropping, they are scared. Okay, they will dump the ETF. Okay, they will sell the ETF, and the hammer inside, okay, is still worth 100 ringgit, but people are selling it at maybe 90 ringgit, okay, just to run away. So at that time, okay, the hammer is in a discount. Okay, there's an opportunity. So you are buying 100 ringgit worth of asset for only 90 ringgit. So if you see a discount, there's also always a best time to press the buy. Okay. So before we buy into any funds, we cannot just trust the very nice name or the logo lah. We have to look under the hood. Okay, we must read the fact sheet. Okay, and for every ETF or every unit trust, there is a fund fact sheet. Okay, we can check it on Bursa Malaysia website. Okay, so we can think of it like buying a food at the supermarket. Okay, you can check the nutrition label, right? Okay, is it full of sugar? Is healthy? So the fact sheet for the fund or for the ETF is exactly the same. Okay, we will tell you if the fund is healthy for you. Is it suitable for your or fit into your own risk profile. Okay, so actually you can download this PDF from Bursa Marketplace or the ETF issuer website. It's usually just 2 pages, are very short. So, and also here are the 4 critical things we must zoom in. Okay, the first one is the expense ratio. Okay, this is the annual management fee. Okay, in unit trust, it can be 1.5 or 2%. But in ETF, i-ETF, you want to see the number like 0.5%, 0.3%, or even 0.1%. So the rule is the lower, the better. If you see something high like 1.5% for an ETF, then you need to ask yourself, why so expensive? Is the manager, if is the fund manager giving me a massage or another service? No, of course. So if not, then we need to look for a cheaper one, the cheaper expense ratio. Okay. The second one is what is their top 10 holdings? Okay, which is the what is the ingredient inside? Okay, this will show you the exactly what your money is going. Okay, if you buy a tech ETF, then you can check the list. What is the top 10? Do you see Apple inside or do you see Microsoft? Okay, and if you buy a Malaysia ETF, do you see Tenaga or Maybank? Okay, Maybank is not shariah compliant now, sorry. Do you see Petronas? Okay, so if you see a company you don't like or don't trust, then you don't buy. Okay, because you are the boss of your own money, so you know what you are eating or you know what you are doing. Okay, so the third one is the tracking error. Okay, okay, this tracking error is like how you measure how good the computer is at, okay, following the index. Okay, for example, like if the market goes up 10%, then your ETF must follow to goes up 10%. All right, so if the ETF only goes up 8%, right, so the tracking area will be very high. Okay, that means the spread or the difference is very high. Okay, it means that the manager doing nothing lah, or their performance is not so very good, okay, along the way. So you want this number to be as small as possible, okay? Then only will shows the funds is efficient, okay? The fourth one is that dividend yield, okay? Does this fund pay you dividends, okay? Some funds like the equities fund, okay, like as past, they usually pay a very, very little dividend, maybe like 0.5%. Okay, why? Because company like Tesla, they will reinvest their money to grow bigger. Okay, they can buy this for, so you can buy this growth fund for your capital gain. But for some funds like income funds, okay, usually they will pay a very high dividends, maybe like 3 to 4%. So this is for your own pocket money, like for your own cash flow. Okay, so you can check all this number. Okay, so you won't get disappointed. Okay, before you buying into all these ETF. Okay, if you expect you will need money cash flow, then you don't buy equity funds. Okay, equity ETF. Okay. So this is the transaction cost. So when you trade on Bursa Malaysia, we will pay three things: brokerage fee. Okay, you will need to the brokerage fee will go to the platform. The carrying fee will pay to Bursa, and the stamp duty will pay to the government. Okay. Okay, so there's some risk to watch out as well. So investing is risky. Okay, if anyone tell you there's a guaranteed return, so please run away fast. Okay, this is a scam. Okay, so every investment, okay, every return come with risk, high return. So here are the three things that you may face with i-ETF. So you need to know them so you don't panic when they appear. Okay, the risk one is that the market risk. Okay, so i-ETF are diversified, yes, but they are no magic. Okay, if a tsunami hits the economy, okay, like the global financial crisis or the COVID-19, the whole market, the whole global market, every country market goes down. Okay, the good stocks like top company like Maybank, Petronas, or even the Talk Love like few years ago will go down as well. Okay, as long as along with the bad stocks. Okay, if the S&P 500 drop 20%, your S-Pass ETF will also drop 20%. So what to do is that don't panic sell. Okay, remember you are in this for the long term. You need to recall what is the purpose of buying this at the first place. Okay, you buy it for short term or buy it for long term, because from the historical chart or the history, usually after the crash, the market will recover. So if you sell at the bottom, you will make the losses to be real. You will realize the losses. So you must always to tahan the drop. You must have a very big heart. Then the second one is the liquidity risk. And this is very specific to Malaysia. Some i-ETF on Bursa Malaysia are very popular. So millions of units change hands every day, but some of the ETF will be a little bit quiet lah. Maybe only a few thousand unit traded. Okay, if you buy a quiet i-ETF and suddenly you need cash urgently to pay some of your bills, you go to market sell, but there are no buyer. Okay, so or the buyer are offering a very low price, so you might have to sell at a discount just to get out. So what you do is that before you buy, you look at the volume. Okay, if it's a zero or very low for the day, so be careful. Or only put the money there if you plan to hold for years and years. Don't put your money in it. Okay, so touch wood, if anything goes wrong or anything happens, you still have the money can be used. So the third one is risk three. Okay, the reclassification risk, okay, which is the shariah policy. This you need to ask. Imagine you own a ETF, inside there's a company A, suddenly company A borrow too much money, then the shariah advisor will borrow the the reseller, okay, oh, these are non-Sharia compliant. So the fund manager will need to sell the company A share immediately. So they have no choice. Lor. So this forced selling can sometimes or sometimes cause a small dip or the big dip in the fund performance. Okay? So it's the price that we need to pay for keeping the basket clean. So what you do is to what we need to what we need to do is that uh, we can just do nothing, okay? Because the fund manager will handle this situation, okay? Just be aware that it can be happen, okay? But when it happen, when on one of the company, okay, being excluded from the Sharia list, okay, we will just make a very small dip in the fund performance, okay? But out of these the stocks that being excluded, there are still many stocks they are inside the portfolio is Sharia compliant. So remember, investing is not risk-free, but if you know this risk, you won't be shocked. You can sleep better at night. Okay, so we are almost at the finish line, but before I let you go, I need to clear the air. So there's a lot of coffee shop talk out there. So uncle talking loudly, okay, spreading fake news. So there's some of the myth. So myth one is that Sharia funds give a lower return because choices are limited. Okay, so but people will say, oh, yeah, if you cannot invest in banks, you confirm lose lah. Banks will make you so much money. But the fact is that let's look at the logic, right? When you remove the conventional banks, what are you actually removing? Okay, you are removing companies with high debt and high leverage. So you are keeping companies with low debt and cash-rich asset, like mostly technology company. So in the long run, especially when the economy is tough, which companies survive better? The cash one, which one? Yeah, so history has shown to us, look at the 2008 financial crisis, look at the COVID crisis. Uh, the Sharia in Texas, right, always outperformed the conventional one. Why? Because they didn't hold the banks that they will collapse. Okay, so the Sharia screening is not a handicap, okay? It is a quality filter, okay? You are filtering out the junk company or the junk stocks. So second myth is that I'm not a Muslim, so this product is not for me, okay? So I heard this all the time from my Chinese and Indian friends at home. They will see the I, okay, in i-ETF and they will just they skip it, okay? But the fact is that money has no religion. Okay, the stock market doesn't ask you what you believe in before it pays you the dividend, right? So if you are an investor who cares about ESG, environmental, social, and governance, if you want to avoid sin stocks, if you want transparency, if you want companies with a responsible financial management, then i-ETF are perfect for you. I have many non-Muslim friends that they will still invest heavily in SPACs. Okay, not because of religion, but because they simply prefer owning Apple and Tesla over owning Bank of America. Okay, because it's just a smarter financial choice for them. Okay, no right and wrong. So please don't limit yourself. So whether you are Ali, Ahok, or Mutu, i-ETF are built for a smart investor. Okay, so right now, okay, so I know we're thinking, so because like you will ask, there's a lot of info. So how am I going to remember all this? Do I need to hire a analyst? No, you don't need to do this alone. So we live in 2025. You have you own your iPhone. You don't need to be a financial genius. So all these app you can use it, okay, to access all the information about the i-ETF. Okay. Okay, so this is a checklist before you start. Okay, we are about to finish. So before you press any green button to buy, so you can go through all these 5-point checklist. Okay, you can tick all 5 boxes, then proceed. If not, then pause and fix first. Okay, so the first one is like your account. Do you have a Sharia trading account? Okay, check your broker app. So but the trading platform always come with Sharia. So so if your broker is not Sharia compliant, then you may open a broker that provide you with a Sharia compliant investment tools. Okay, and second one is what is your goal? Okay, you buy for long term or buy for short term. Okay, and the third one is the prices. Okay. So are you buying near to the NAV, okay, with a huge premium or at a discount level? And the volume, is there enough liquidity to sell later? Okay. And the last the last one is the consistency. Okay. Can you commit to DCA monthly? Okay. Okay, to wrap up the learning session today, so yeah, look at the screen. So this quote is from the very famous investing seafood Warren Buffett. Okay, he said the best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. The more you learn, the more you earn. So think about that for a second. Tonight you haven't bought a single share yet, so you haven't spent a single ringgit in the market yet. So, but guess what? So you are already richer than you were 2 hours ago. So right now you are rich in mind. Okay. So just don't stop here. So investing is not just about the money; it's about the mindset. Okay. So you can do anything you like in the investment world. Okay. So always remember the best timing to invest is yesterday. Okay, the second best timing to invest is today. Okay, that's all from my session.
Thank you so much, Hubert, for sharing with us about Shariah compliant exchange traded funds. So, if any question to ask Hubert, you may write them at the Q&A box. Yeah. So, the first question I see on my screen is that
Yeah.
who is the regulatory body to evaluate the ETF compliance to Shariah principles?
The question is that the Sharia,
Yeah, who is the regulatory body to evaluate whether ETF is compliant or not?
the regulatory body to Sharia. Uh, if in the Bursa Malaysia, right, there's a so-called SAC.
Oh, that's
Okay,
SC,
yeah,
Equities
SAC
Commission,
Sharia Advisor.
Shariah Advisory Council.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's the SAC who is the body that regulate the Sharia compliance of all these listed company in on Bursa Malaysia.
All right, thanks, Hubert. The next question is: can we invest in i-ETF through any broker trading platform?
Yes, you can as long as your broker or your trading platform does provide the function of Sharia compliant investing.
Yep. It's just buying ETF, just like how you buy stocks. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But if you have an Islamic trading account, then those stocks that appear on your screen are all Sharia compliant. So those ETF that you see on your quoting screen are all Sharia compliant. If yours is an Islamic trading account. So for the next question, so Hubert, just now you recommended one of the strategies was dollar cost averaging. So the question here is there any particular day in month to do this?
I will advise you to do monthly. Okay, if you do on daily, then I will advise you to don't do it because it's still very hassle for you. So the best way is to do maybe at the beginning of the month or the end of the month. So especially when your salary is up, so you can allocate some part of your salary, okay, to buying into all these ETF. Again, do it regularly, monthly.
All right. Let's do one last question from Kennedy. What is the typical annual return based on your balance portfolio just now, 50, 30, 20? Um, can we, yeah,
It's
so
still
that's the question.
Yeah, but it actually depends on the market. Okay, so let's say if you are putting 50% of these funds into equity market, right? So you know that when the equity market is performing well, like this year, maybe US market year to date is already making a 15-20%. So, but you're only putting 50% of your funds into equity market. So, out of these 20%, you only contribute, the equity markets only contribute half of it, may saying 10%, okay, into your whole portfolio. But then remember that you also have the 10% or 20% part into this gold ETF. That we all know that ETF, the gold market this year is performing very well. Okay, year to date already perform higher than the stock market. So with only this 20% of your portfolio, okay, the gold market can contribute very high portion to your portfolio. So you can average all the return. Okay, the total return you will get maybe like 10% plus minus. Okay.
All right, thanks, Hubert, for sharing with us about i-ETF. So I guess after this session, all of us here are more familiar with how what is the i-ETF, how what make it shariah compliant or not, and how do we trade i-ETF, all right? And what strategies can we go about doing it through ETF? Okay, I will just take over the screen control. So with that, thank you everybody for tuning into this session. So that is Hubert Hyung, who is a co-founder of BBB Wealth.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you, everyone.